Hey guys, what's up? I am so sorry that I have been away for as long as I have been. 4 months is quite the gap between my last video. I had no idea, nor did I plan on having this long of an absence away from YouTube. You all deserve an explanation as for why I have been MIA. However, this video is not it. The next one after this one will explain everything. Again, I apologize for being away this long. Well, with that out of the way now, I can now get on with my recap of 2017. 2017 was quite the year. Yes, that perfectly sums up this year. Wouldn't you all agree? With each year, there are always good and bad moments that make the year memorable. Well, in 2017, there were more bad ones than there were good. But I won't be dwelling on the bad ones too much throughout this video. Okay, this intro has gone on long enough. So, without further ado, here is my 2017 A Look Back. Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals made his 1,000th goal of his NHL career. After 8 years, we sadly had to say goodbye to Barack and Michelle Obama. Another unfortunate thing that happened is that Donald Trump took the office as the 45th president. And last but not least, probably the most important event that happened in January was the Women's March. An estimated 3 to 4 million people participated in the US alone to help advocate many issues and rights, including women's rights, healthcare reform, immigration reform, and many other issues as well. The march was also used as a protest against Donald Trump and his views towards women in general. Because if you remember last year, during his entire campaign, he didn't have the greatest things to say about women. Worldwide, it is estimated that over 5 million people participated in this demonstration. February gave us one of the most talked about moments of 2017, the now famous Oscars Best Picture goof. It all went down when Hollywood legends Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty announced that La La Land had won Best Picture. For a few brief moments, the entire cast and crew basked in the spotlight for winning this honor. That was until stagehands quickly rushed the stage to tell La La Land that there had been an envelope error and to correctly award Moonlight as the rightful Best Picture winner instead. This was the first time in the history of the Academy Awards that this type of a mistake was made, having the wrong name being announced as the winner. The Oscars are known for having many incidents and awkward moments that have happened throughout its history. Going all the way back to 1974 with The Streaker, and to more recent moments such as 2011's complete train wreck with hosts James Franco and Anne Hathaway, and 2014's John Travolta's whole Adele Dazeem. This moment, however, tops all of those previous ones by a long shot. This mistake is going to be remembered for years to come as the Oscars' biggest blunder of all time. And that's all I've got for you for February. I'm sorry, folks. I don't got anything else. I don't remember what happened during this month. I need to better pay attention to what goes on each month. March gave us these memorable highlights, including the entire world was captivated and obsessed with a pregnant giraffe. I'm talking about April the Giraffe in Harpersville, New York. The entire world was just completely enamored by this giraffe that was about to give birth at any given moment. For St. Patrick's Day this year, I decided to be a bit ambitious and I made two things: classic corned beef Reubens and Shamrock Shake cupcakes. And lastly, I told you all about my pet peeve, which is misophonia. Misophonia is the hatred towards a particular sound. People who chomp and chew with their mouth open is my kryptonite. I cannot stand that. My grandfather's niece from California came out with her daughter and her granddaughter for a visit. It was a lot of fun to catch up and to get to spend some time with her granddaughter as well, as she is just too cute for words. After waiting for what felt like an eternity, April the Giraffe finally gave birth to a very tall baby boy named Tajiri. And lastly, in April, there was the whole fidget spinner craze. Somebody just explained to me how this is just so mesmerizing that everybody was obsessed with it. I don't get this. How is this supposed to keep you entertained? May began on a somber note with the bombing at the Manchester Arena in Manchester, England, right after an Ariana Grande concert had just finished. Sadly, 22 people lost their lives and over 500 were injured. The days following the attack saw a massive outpour of support from around the world to the city of Manchester and its citizens as well. The greatest show on earth came to an end after 146 years of entertaining children of all ages. The circus closed this year due to falling ticket sales and for PETA being a constant pest as well. In the end, the circus had a good run at almost 150 years of entertaining countless generations. That is quite the accomplishment that Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey can be proud of. 27 years after it originally premiered, the bizarre cult classic series that is Twin Peaks returned to confuse and terrify us with the long-awaited continuation. I saw most of this revival, and it's still straight up weird. It's even weirder than the first 2 seasons were. But when David Lynch is involved in anything, this is to be expected. Did anyone ever find out what Covfefe meant? And finally, in May, the original Star Wars celebrated its 40th anniversary. In the beginning of June, my grandfather's other niece from Florida decided to come up for a visit. While she was visiting, my family decided that it would be a fun thing to do to go over to National Harbor and see what it was like for the day. This was my first time going. I had a lot of fun strolling about the place, looking at all the shops, looking at the sculpture, The Awakening, and riding on the Capitol Wheel. The Capitol Wheel is the Ferris wheel that they have there that once you're at the very top, you have great overall view of the surrounding area and the Potomac River as well. I always enjoy it whenever we have family that comes up and visits. June 14th is my birthday, and this year, boy, did I have some birthday. Aside from turning 29 years old, I also got bronchitis. So, that's just a great birthday present to have. Also, the same day as my birthday was the devastating Grenfell Tower blaze in London. That was such a blow to the UK. But it was good to see the community come together and they were able to bounce back from this tragedy. Canada celebrated 150 years of independence. I told you all about why I had been putting off making videos, and that was due to the lack of viewer feedback, because if you don't tell me how I'm doing, I'm not gonna know because I can't read your minds. The following albums celebrated 10-year anniversaries. And lastly, in July, Whovians like myself welcomed the news that the 13th Doctor was going to be a woman. Everybody, say hello to Jodie Whittaker. I think she'll do a fantastic job taking over the TARDIS. I helped contribute to the funding on a documentary about the making of one of my all-time favorite films, Beetlejuice. I am beyond excited that this documentary is going to be made because this film has been so long overdue on getting this type of documentary. If you are a fan of this film like I am, and if you would like to donate, you still can, so that the team can hopefully make some of their stretch goals. All the information will be available below. Disney decided, for whatever reason, to close down one of my all-time favorite rides, the Great Movie Ride at Disney MGM Studios. A thunderstorm cloud and the lack of not being able to find the special glasses meant I watched the solar eclipse on TV. This way, I didn't miss 1 second of this event. And lastly, in August was the first of 3 deadly hurricanes. The first being Hurricane Harvey, which practically flooded all of Houston, Texas. September continued on with the deadly hurricane season of 2017 with Hurricane Irma, which made direct impact on the Florida Keys, and the most devastating hurricane of the year, which was Hurricane Maria. Maria practically obliterated, and I mean obliterated, Puerto Rico. There were so many that unfortunately died, and still, how many months later, the country is still without power. Moving away from the hurricanes now, let's get into some of the good things that happened in September, like two of my favorite TV shows celebrating their anniversaries. First up is iCarly. iCarly, in my opinion, is one of the best Nick series of the 2000s. Carly, Freddie, Sam, Spencer, and Gibby are some of the most funniest and original characters that have been on TV screens in a while. You just relate to every single one of them, and you really wish that you could be friends with these guys and you too could be on their web show. And the second show that had an anniversary in September is the iconic classic that is The Carol Burnett Show. For 50 years, count them, 50, Carol Burnett, Vicki Lawrence, Tim Conway, Harvey Korman, and Lyle Wagner have been keeping us in stitches from laughing at all of their iconic characters, classic skits, and just all the general craziness that went into making this series so memorable and still loved by so many these many years later. And last but not least, in September, I celebrated my 7th year of making videos. For this year, I decided to tell you all my YouTube story. This October, I spent the majority of it dealing with my grandmother, Oma, and her backyard. So this meant I couldn't get any videos up, and this followed for the rest of the year as well. This October was probably one of the most dramatic months out of the entire year, with these 3 major events happening. The Las Vegas shooting, in which 58 people were killed while attending a country music festival. This led again to the need for better gun control laws, as well as overviewing the security of concerts and shows, as no one should ever feel afraid and to go to these shows with the thought in the back of their mind being that, hey, I might not survive this. The second major event of October was the Harvey Weinstein sexual harassment and assault allegations. After continuing allegations kept coming out about him by so many actresses who had worked with him before, this led to the creation of the hashtag #MeToo. Women have used this to tell their own personal stories and experiences of dealing with this type of behavior. This movement has led to many, many men in the entertainment industry to be called out on this behavior, which has resulted in many of them to either be fired or removed from their careers and positions. 2017 was the year that women said enough is enough, and that it was their time to do all the talking, and it was time for the men to shut up and listen. 2017 was truly the year of the woman. And the last major event of October was the Tubbs Fire in Northern California, with the Santa Rosa area being the most affected. Sorry, wine lovers, but a lot of the vineyards were destroyed. Also, in October, two of my favorite films celebrated their 50th anniversaries. The first being the classic The Jungle Book, and my all-time favorite Audrey Hepburn film, Wait Until Dark. Here are some of the events and moments that happened in November. The NHL, the National Hockey League, celebrated its 100th anniversary. This is a bit strange to me because I thought the NHL was a lot older than just 100. Two of my favorite Disney films celebrated their 25th and 40th anniversaries. And in November is what I consider to be one of the biggest shockers of 2017 is the engagement of Prince Harry to Meghan Markle. She is an American actress who was on the USA Network series Suits. The reason why I consider this to be the biggest shocker of the year is that the Prince Harry is going to get married. No one, and I mean no one, ever thought that the Prince Harry was ever going to get married. Because, well, Prince Harry is Prince Harry. But I guess this goes to show you that people do change and do grow up eventually. But the Prince Harry is going to be married next year. Who would have ever thought that? California just couldn't catch a break this year as they had to deal with yet another fire. This time, it was Southern California's turn with the Thomas fires that greatly affected the Santa Barbara area. The FCC decided to vote to repeal net neutrality. This is not going to end well on either side. Disney is potentially about to purchase 20th Century Fox. If this deal is to be approved, then Disney will then in turn own a huge chunk of Hollywood. This is why monopolies are bad, folks. They just are. After 20 years, AOL decided to shut down their iconic instant messenger service, otherwise known as AIM. AIM was such a big part of my high school life back in the early 2000s. Rushing home every day and logging on to both AIM and MySpace. Boy, those were the days. So long and good night to all of the buddies that we used to talk to all of the time, and all of our angsty, lyric-driven away messages as well. And last but not least, December isn't complete without Christmas. it. That was my recap of 2017. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that in the comments below, why don't you tell me what were some of the memorable moments that you had throughout 2017. They can be either good, bad, or a mixture of the two. Well, that's all I have for this video. So before I go, I just want to apologize yet again for being away for so long, and that it's good to know that I now have an audience that will stick around even when I don't upload for 4 months. So it's good to know that you guys are still here even when I'm not. So thank you. I now turn this portion of the video over to those that we have lost this past year. Each year, we keep continuing to lose so many great legends. So, until next time, I hope that you all are doing well and that I'll see you again real soon. Alright, till then, take care. Bye guys. Bye.